Welcome to our behavior scientist reacts to Takopi's original sin. As always, viewer discussion is advised. Very brutal anime. And if you remember, thank you for subscribing to ONII. You of course get these videos 1 week ahead of everyone else. Now, before we get to this episode, I want to talk about last week's episode. I'd like to reflect over it between these days, and I have to say that I think that this part between the brothers, for me, definitely was more interesting part. So my co-workers about that, and I feel this is more interesting because, so first of all, right, last episode 3 then, it ends with Marina, or ergo Takopi as Marina, getting beaten by her mom, right? And then obviously Shizuka's mom is netting her and so on. So we do, obviously, like really obviously, we all understand that these two mothers, right, of the girls are terrible. For, again, obvious reason, like slapping her like crazy. That's very clear. So this here, I think, was much more interesting in the storyline, right? How his mother is basically, like I call it, like super tiger mom, you know. And of course, she's a terrible mother as well, if you say that. But I mean that the other two mothers, right? First of all, the physical abuse, I mean, yes, no-brainer, terrible mom, right? Neglecting mother, not to care about daughter, again, everyone understands that's a bad mom, right? But this kind of mother instead that he has, where the mom seemingly seems to be, trying to help him, right? Of course, she does it in a very terrible way. She kind of torments him with like, oh, you want your favorite food, you can't have it because you suck, and so on, right? So I think this is a much more interesting case study, right? Because first of all, right, if you would talk to this mother, she will absolutely be in denial. There is no way. I mean, I met, of course, these kind of people in my life many times. There is no way ever, right, that this kind of person would ever, agree that they don't think anything wrong, right? They're always going to say, oh, but I did it for his sake, I did it because of, I did it to help him. Yeah, they will never, ever take accountability for these actions. Where I think that, that the mother, Shizuka's mother, which is neglecting her, and doesn't really care about her and so on, right? Now she clearly doesn't care about daughter, but if you actually would talk to her and you would be like, you're a terrible mom and what are you doing, right? She probably wouldn't say, oh, that never happened. She probably would be more like, oh, but I don't have any money, or I have no choice, or whatever. She would rather be like excusing her behavior, but still, I would guess that she would be like aware, you know what I mean, of her having been a bad mom, but she would excuse saying that I had no other options or whatever. That's probably where that thing would go. But with this mother and his mother, you feel a lot more like she would just be like, no, I'm the best mom. You know what I mean? So it's very different, right? And the slapping mother, the physical abusive mother, she will probably actually confess, right? When a mother, in her case, not always of course, but when it's more like that, when the mom is abusive physically, but not really like, how to say it, she does it in this emotional way where she's angry at her husband or ex-husband then or whatever exactly what happened there. They say, oh, you want to live with your dad, slap you and that. It's very emotional, it's very rage driven, right? It's very unstable. Those kind of moms tend to be very guilty, right? They tend to be like, oh, what have I done, So if you could confront that kind of person saying, why you beat your daughter for? She would be like, oh, I couldn't handle myself, I'm a terrible mom, right? So yeah, I think she was portrayed as just being very unstable in that sense. So she probably wouldn't deny it, you know what I mean? But this mom here, yeah, this kind of people that he has, his mother, they are so hard to deal with. I think they are actually probably the hardest to deal with. Of these three mothers, absolutely, would this mom probably be the hardest to actually try to convince them to change? You know what I mean? Because she would obviously be just like, no, but it's his fault. He's stupid. She'd be like, well, my other son works out fine. Look at my first son. He's perfect. He got a girlfriend. He got perfect grades. He's, whatever. Yeah, he did that work on him. So why this guy sucks? So it's very hard, and he probably will have an enormous battle here to try to convince his mom, right, that she's doing something bad to him. So I do feel that would be the more interesting, in this anime, because I do assume that the mothers, the parents, will probably be punished or something in this anime, right? Or not maybe punished, but at least maybe understand what they're doing wrong or something. I don't know. It's like I hope it is, right? And so I keep feeling that this would be the hardest mother to kind of, where again, like the slapping mother would probably be like, oh yes, I'm a terrible mom, but what can I do, kind of thing, right? I could control myself. She won't deny it, right? I think a very, very different take on it. Now, if we go away from her, like, again, I'm sure she's very much in denial, right? His mother here. Otherwise, I also think it's interesting because, how to say it, this would also be the terrible parenting that would be hard to spot. Everyone can clearly see that Shizuka, it's a good example of that Shizuka is being beaten by Marina, her mom doesn't care about her clothing, the backpack is destroyed, right? Every teacher can see that, which also, again, I hope the anime will explain why no one seems to care in the school or whatever, but I digress. And Marina's case, we saw her being brutally slapped like 10 times. She got all the bruises, right, so on. So in those two girls' life, other people will obviously see that they are being beaten up, right, Her dad, for example, Marina's dad, will very likely know that his wife beats her, right? Which of course tells him which shows that he's a bad father, because he probably knows that his ex-wife beats his daughter and doesn't stop her, right? He neglects her, so I mean, again, he's a bad parent too. But my point is that people can see on the girls that they are being, beaten and abused and all that stuff, right? But again, on the boy, it feels just like, yeah, I think it's an interesting case because, like I said, I think it's very hard to spot this, right? His mom has, she gives him, proper clothing and all this stuff. Yeah, it would be very, very hard to actually probably see that. And I think as a teacher too, it also would be hard because, okay, he doesn't have perfect grades, right? Which is why she hates him. Her mom is like, oh, you're terrible. But I don't know exactly. The anime didn't explain that. But I assume at least, right, that he's like, a pretty good student, right? So maybe he doesn't have A+ and everything, but he probably has like B or whatever, you know what I mean? So he's like, he got 90% correct answers, right? So the teachers are gonna be like, oh yeah, this kid's being abused. He got 90%. There has to be something wrong with his mother, Like that's never gonna happen, right? Where Shizuka probably gets like, terrible grade because her mom completely ignores her. She's being beaten up every day, etc. Right? So she probably has incredibly bad test scores as well, which also would be, oh, that seems weird. If your teacher would be like, this girl has incredibly, bad grades plus all the other stuff, so there would be a factor you would understand that she's being abused or whatever. But yeah, but this guy is like, because he probably has almost perfect grades, right? Of course, not good enough for his mom. So I think there's because yeah, I talked to my colleague about this, and I feel that this would be incredibly hard to just spot this, right? I think that's would be the hard thing, yeah, to even be aware of what is happening. And also, lastly, on a point here, this is also probably, I'm generalizing here, but this is probably also the hardest part for a child to tell another adult, like a teacher or whatever, right, or some, outside the home, that they are being abused in this way, because his mother is doing it with the context of, oh, I'm trying to help him to be better, right? Because she's doing that, the child will very often cope and be like, well, my mom loves me, she's trying to help me in her way, it's my fault, right? A lot of children in these incidents, similar incidents, they will blame themselves, right? It's my fault that mom is angry at me because I did fail, I did fail, you know what I mean? So they're definitely going to be very much like, yes, so that's blaming themselves a lot for these things, so it'll be much harder for them to go and like tell a teacher that, oh, my mom is being mean, my mom is abusing me, she punches me or whatever, yeah. But even if his mother would be physically abusing him, let's say slapping him too, that would be harder, right? Because if he's getting slapped because he got bad grades, then he's still gonna internalize that being like, oh well, I deserved it because I got bad grades, right? With Marina's case, I was like, oh, my mom slaps me because my dad broke up with her. Yeah, my mom is terrible, right? So for a child, his case again would be much harder for them to also open up about it, right? Because they're gonna think that they are at fault, right? Because the parent keeps telling them that it's their fault, that they are failing and so on. So yeah, I think his case is very hard to kick. And like I said, very hard to even understand from an outside perspective, right? Because it's much harder visually, and yeah, his grades are probably decently fine and all that stuff, right? But anyways, into the episode, Takopii of course feels bad that they killed. Oh, he doesn't want to. That's a pretty good point. Why can't you be? Oh, they find the body. Yeah, because the body was clear. I mean, it was obvious that the body. Yeah, they didn't dig down the body good at all. But I can't blame them. They're kids though, so he's like over F's, man. But yeah, his mom probably would expect that he did it though. He's obviously very nervous here, but I just can't see how he would think that his mom would. Probably his brother. His brother seems to be a really nice guy, Junya. So, as I said last episode, I hope that Junya isn't actually mean to him. I hope Junya is actually. Yeah, I feel Junya is actually like the only nice person in all animes. The cops are here. Teacher is crying, I guess. Yeah, people are crying. But she was like the popular girl, right? So, I mean, still like the 9-year-old dead. But this is what I mean. I think everyone blames Shizuka. They're like, well, that girl is clearly guilty, right? He looks so guilty now. He's just like, oh, fuck. It would be... Yeah, I mean, almost always in reality, right? Where a kid does a crime, even remotely close to this thing, they will definitely drop their mask. It's very hard for a 9-year-old, or of course even younger, to... keep the mask, right? Yeah, they have like zero. If anything, it's an issue that children will admit the that they haven't done, right? Yeah, if anything, if you like interrogate a kid, they will say, "Oh yeah, I did it. Yeah, just let me go home." You know, that's unfortunately even a bigger issue. It's very easy to manipulate children to. They will give you the answer, right? So you guys she's like, let's do it again. Yeah, she's like, let's rob your brother. She's turning evil, man. Dark Shizuka. She's like, yeah. Yeah, she doesn't care. She's just like, yeah. She's like, yeah, she's dead. Let's go. I want my dog back. Exactly. We're gonna go to my chappie, right? She is the poor girl is turned into a complete sociopath. One thing though, I do wonder in this anime, and maybe it won't matter, but Takopii was Marina for a while, right? I don't know the exact time frame. Look below, guys, but like a few days, right? It's pretty easy, right, with more technology for a coroner to know exactly when a body died, or almost exactly, you know what I mean? You can look at the body and be like, oh yeah, this poor girl has been dead for 17 hours or whatever, right? So I wonder if that's going to have an effect later, because clearly, people saw Takopii as Marina and the mom and so on, right? And then she finds out dead. I mean, yeah, it would be very strange. Like, it's probably... It would be easy seeing that. No, the body has been dead for like much longer. That being said, maybe the capsule thing preserved her body, perhaps? She was saying that like his alien capsule, maybe that like stopped it from like decomposing. I don't know. It doesn't matter too much, but I started talking about it now, like, wait a minute. Would the cops be like, wait, this doesn't make any sense? And as a side note, I'm guessing that the dad will definitely blame his ex-wife, right? Because again, I think he probably knows that she beats Marina, and if your daughter is suddenly dead, you usually will. I mean, overall, right? When a 9-year-old is dead, the first thing you obviously think is the parents. Overall, yeah, it's almost always the parents when the little kid dies, and if you were one of the parents, you will of course assume that the other parent did it, because you're like, I'm innocent. It has to be her. Yeah, so he will very. I mean. He definitely should believe it's her, right? Because he probably knows the beating and it's like, yeah. See, yeah, I don't think his brother is mean to him at all. He's sort of like, hey, you're doing okay, bro? Oh, yeah, his brother is like the nicest person ever. He's just like, are you okay? I heard your classmate died. Are you fine? Yeah, so Junya is like, I keep saying, he's the only nice person. He's a saint. I hope so at least. So he's like, yeah, what if you are in danger now? Do you know what happened? This is a very interesting scene. This is very, very interesting. Because he's just like, don't look at my phone, please. I don't have evidence I killed a girl there. Oh, he might be splitting him, though. Well, he's supposed to be a genius, right, Junya? Is her mom never there at all? Actually, her mom has this in the field as well, right? Maybe he mustn't care. No, I mean, obviously she's been neglected, but like, why does her mom also want to live in all that filth? Oh, he's having like a mental breakdown, clearly. But I like the power vision. It's cool in the anime, they do a lot of power vision. If you see him now having like a mental breakdown because he's so nervous they're gonna figure out that he murdered the girl, right? Well, he didn't do it, but you know, he the boy. But I guess he's gonna do even worse tests though. Yeah, so the thing is that his life, right, is terrible because his mom keeps tormenting him and he fails the test, right? Now he's obviously now having like a mental breakdown thing here. Exactly. So now he's gonna fail the test and then mom is gonna punish him for this thing, right? 54. Oh my god. His mom is gonna go ape shit on him. Oh god, man. Okay. This will be interesting, right? So, like I said, his mother has this, like, I keep calling it Uber Super Tiger mommy, right? She is just incredibly that meme of doctor or engineer yet. So she really, really hates her son, right? But he fails the test, right? And now because he's all, you know, oh no, all the murder happened, right? He's losing his focus on, you know, I mean, he might even have the answers right in his head, but he was just like thinking about the murder. He's like, oh, he forgot to even answer the questions, right? So his mom is probably gonna go ape on him now, right? And maybe she's gonna slap him around too. So I'll be interested to see what she does now then, because what we have seen so far, she kind of bullies him, right, by offering him gifts and love or so forth, right? And then she takes it back, you know. It's a very his mother is a very classic conditional love mother, right? You tell your normally you would tell a parent to be, you know, give your children unconditional love. She does the opposite, right? She's like, I only love you if you don't fail this test. Yeah, she's a very, very mean mom in that sense, right? So yeah, I was to see what happens now then. Yeah, her mom is like, she's so evil, man. She's standing down. He's like, oh, she's gonna like be the living crap out of me something. But again though, doesn't feel like she's actually does it physically, right? She's not like Marina's mom. She probably won't. I don't know. Maybe this would be a new thing for her then, but doesn't feel like she's a physical abuser in that sense. She's more like, I hate you, I wish you were dead kind of mom, right? Oh yeah, she's gonna be like, you can't eat it, you suck. This is a thing all the time with his mom, right? Oh, she's gonna be nice to him because that girl died, maybe? No, she's probably gonna like grab the food and be like, I hate you, piece of shit. No, she's so evil. She's like the worst mom in anime history. Oh, here we go. You're free now. Yeah, you gave up. You terrible piece of shit. She's just like, that's right. I released you from my family. You're like, she's like, yeah, you can stop. You stop being my son. Yeah, go out and die in the forest. That's what she does. Yeah, like, I don't even count you as my kid anymore. Like I said, conditional loving, right? She's just like, yeah, whatever. Like, I don't care anymore. You're not my son anymore, right? It's a very common thing. And that's why we have, in the family, I suppose, right? That we have that, as I keep saying, unconditional love. Where, okay, my sister does X thing. But it's my sister, I gotta help her, right? You know, my brother needs money. Oh, but you know, but it's my brother, right? That kind of feeling. That is that classic how, you know, human structure family exists, right? The reason why, of course, from a biological standpoint is that because we know that if I help my kin, right, my close family, they will help me back because we're family, right? So it's easier if they have a bad day, they have a bad thing, they lost a job, whatever, right? I will help them and they help me later and so on, right? And by helping each other, we, you know, have a better life and we get stronger or whatever, right? And that's of course what you try to do as a society as a whole with laws and all that stuff, right? But, you know, from a biological standpoint, humans are very, you know, wired, right, to work like that, you know, collaboration, right? And of course, especially in the family, with blood related, right? It's very, very common. So his mom then does the opposite. That's why she's so mean to him overall. She does then conditional love. She's obsessed with this idea that, well, if you fail, you can't be part of the family anymore. But this is an interesting scene because before she was kind of like tormenting him. She was like, "Oh, you want this thing? You want the Nesco figure? I can't have it, terrible kid, right?" She's kind of doing that to him. She was like, and now she was like, hey, you won't take it then, I don't care anymore. Go out the door. Yeah, go and die. Yeah. Now instead she was doing like, okay, I give up. It's the last time I even talk to you. So she's so mean. She's so incredibly mean. Jesus Christ. But like I keep saying, the core value of her is really that she only loves her sons if they accomplish whatever she cares about. Right? Yeah, that's the one thing she cares about. 100% merit based, right? So yeah, but honestly, this behavior is very uncommon, right? I think it's very uncommon. I think a lot of people have this. They're very stern with the kids, and very you have to get the good grades, so blah blah so on. Of course, that says a lot, but her like I said, her level of it, perhaps wrong word for it, her extremity maybe, you know what I mean? Because absolutely, can you find a lot of parents that are like this, you know, they're like, oh, you have to get A plus or whatever, so on. But yeah, this woman seems to be just like insanely extreme on that level. Of course, it's an anime, so she's, you know, up to 11, right? Because she's basically like, I have you dead to me now. Yeah, she's like a completely useless kid. But I think it's also the age, you know what I mean? Because if you go and talk to people that have had bad parents, and they usually say, yeah, my mom was angry at me for this thing, whatever, because I failed this grade, right? I think what most people's parents are normally is actually college. So they go to college, then they fail their degree, right? Now the parents are like, oh my god, you spent all this time with you, we worked for you growing up, and then we pay this money in college, you failed, you're terrible, we hate you, right? A lot of people experience that, which is terrible, but it's also more like it's a monetary thing there. And you know the child is a young adult, right? That's the most of the common thing, and then of course it's like whatever high school is on. So I think that's also why this mom is so mean too, because like where I'm from, you don't even have grades when you're 9. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like in my home country, we don't even have grades. We start having grades till we're like 10, and they change it to like I think they're 12 now or something. That's a lot of argument, I guess, if we should have grades or whatnot. But they get my point, right? He's so young. His mom is like, you're failing at school when you're 8 or 9? Yeah, get out, right? And obviously we don't know where she started this thing, but it's pretty implied that she's done this for years with him, right? So she was like, you're a 5-year-old and you can't do math yet? Get out of the house, you're drowned, kid. So, I mean, she's incredibly to the extremity, right? Lastly, but this also makes so bad, is because she doesn't seem to care about that Marina died, right? Now, of course, she might not have known Marina or the parents or whatever, like personally, but obviously you would understand, right, that, okay, my son's friend died, or classmate or whatever, but, you know, you would assume that, or perhaps she was friends with my son or whatever, and she got murdered. Okay, maybe he is not going to go on a test, right? So it's a little bit of, yeah, this is obviously also very, very unfocused parenting. Yeah, yeah, she doesn't care about it at all. Because I mean, his brother knew that the girl just got murdered, so obviously mom knows as well, right? But I have to say, I think it almost makes her a little anime critique here. So ignoring the whole behavior thing, it does almost feel a little bit cliche or something like that, you know, that she has like zero care for that. She's just being like, I hate you, son. She doesn't even like talk to him about, oh, so your classmate died? I'm happy with that, yeah. But the good thing is though that his brother seems to be again the only nice person, right? Because he actually was asking about him. So what could happen in this storyline with the brothers is that he might stand up to his mom, right? Yeah, the older brother Junya might be like, okay, stop bullying him. You know, he might be like, stop doing that. And that might work. If there is someone that can talk to this kind of mother, it's probably the golden child, so to speak, right? Because they tend to, you know, her precious son, right? The older son, which she really, really cares about, right? That's her like golden goose, maybe golden child, right? If he's like, stop it, mom, like that actually, yeah, I think that normally that person is who they like the most. And it's kind of, I have like a life story with that, briefly, but my grandma, she's a lot like this, actually, with one of her daughters, my aunt then, right? And also me. So it's kind of funny because I see my grandma getting really angry at people when they have ever critiqued my aunt, right? Like my father, my other aunts or whatever, my uncles or whatnot, that she will always defend one of my aunts, that always. Obviously a golden child for her, but it's just the same thing with me as well. I'm a clearly golden child of her grandkids, but I see with her then it's kind of funny because she basically, she always takes my side, right, like I said, or my own side. So, of course, what happens then is a conflict, not that often, but again, then a few times in my life, right, I had like a disagreement, right, with my aunt. Now, in that case, my grandma is like, no, seriously, sorry, grandma, but yeah, she gets like, what do I do now? It's so clear with grandma. She gets like, what? Who should I? Yeah. Then she can't take any stuff because it's like, what? My two favorite people or they are in disagreement. Yeah, she can't handle that. Her brain is like, what? It's very clear. The two golden child and golden grandchild. Then she's just like, what do I do now in my life? But let's keep going. Yeah, so like I said earlier, she's been training him with this whole conditional loving, right? So he feels it's all his fault too. I know he's puking here, but yeah, I think that in most cases in reality this happens. Like I said earlier, a child will almost never tell anyone because they really will blame themselves. So it's so hard for them to also tell, even the father. We haven't seen it here, maybe not the father, but even like the other parent, they might have a hard time telling them that mom is mean to me. Yeah, it will be really, really hard because he's gonna blame himself, right? Mostly, and they cry. Yeah, oh, she's there again. Well, at least she cares. Yeah, at least Shizuka is like, Daishibu. So gonna tell her what happened, maybe? Oh, whoa, he don't even tell her that. Yeah, the cops are like, we know that you and that Marina girl hang out a lot. But, just like I said there, right? He couldn't even tell Shizuka that his mom was being mean to him. But I think that's good writing because, yeah, it is such a hard position for a child to have. Because they will basically never... Yeah, they used almost never tell anyone that their parent doesn't love them in this way. Kind of sort of cute. Yeah, arigato. Oh my gosh, she's smiling again. Asimakun. Okay, it's adorable. What? She's like, go to jail for me, boy! What? Huh? My god, she's like a complete sociopath. She's been beaten so much, this poor girl. She's turned, I call her Dark Shizuka. She's gone evil, man. She's like, oh, Yankee's so nice to me. Why don't you go to jail for me, boy? This is crazy. She's like, go to prison for me. What? Oh my god. Yeah, she's evil too now. No, but see, I mean, okay. This is crazy. This story is crazy, but maybe not too surprising because we saw how she already kind of manipulated him earlier, right? Immediately, it's like, oh, you're so nice to me. You wanna dig that body with me? So yeah, maybe she go into the route, right? But I think from Suka's aspect, right, she is showing clear then sociopathic tendencies, right? She's turning into sociopath, right? And this is not surprising at all. Usually, you say that you're born a psychopath and you make sociopaths, right? So obviously, her mom is terrible to her, right, in many different ways for years. And then she gets incredibly physically abused by the other girl, right? So now her brain is basically wired that I don't care about anything, right? So sociopaths tend to be that is where that's probably the most common thing, right? It's someone that gets beaten a lot growing up. If they also become, mean when they're grown-ups, they tend to be in that trait because they don't care about society anymore, right? They're just kind of like, I want to burn the world down kind of thing. Obviously, I'm very, very simplifying it here. But that's kind of a little bit how it is because they seem to, how do I say it, sociopathic issues tends to be that the person doesn't understand or doesn't care about society, okay, in the sense, right? Psychopaths aren't that at all, actually. Psychopaths tend to have a very good understanding of society and norms and whatever regulations, whatever, right? And they don't care, or rather they manipulate it, right? The psychopath is more like, okay, this is the law. How do I circumvent the law, right? Whereas sociopath tends to be more like, I don't care about the law. I don't know the law. Like, I don't care about society, right? And in her case, then, being of course completely, her mom is so mean to her all the time, and I guess her father hasn't seen her for years. We don't know that, but I assume her father, he lives in Tokyo, and she hasn't seen him probably a few years, right? So on. So her family has like abandoned her basically. And then she's getting all this physical abuse, right? And no one helps her. The teachers don't help her, so on. So yeah, this is like a good, way to turn a kid into sociopath, right? Because now she's gonna hate society. She's gonna hate the school, the system, right? She's gonna hate the grown-ups. she hates her parents, and then so forth, right? So this is somewhat realistic that she would become a sociopath, because again, you know, why would she care about the law? Why would she care about society? Right? This girl, like, literally, like, stabs her and brutalizes her, right? And no one helps her. So, you know, why would she, like, when I care about society or get a job or whatever? So it's of course really kind of extreme here in the anime, but this is kind of typically for a sociopath in that sense. Not always, of course, is a way to make a sociopath, but it certainly is a way to get sociopathic traits, right? And the next step, though, is she's trying to, like, frame him for it, which seems, of course, very callous of her. But I think that comes back into, again, that she doesn't seem to really, you know, she's just like burn the world down mentality now. That's how it fits for her. Like, she doesn't care anymore. We saw, of course, her trying to get him to, like, rob his brother earlier last episode. So I wasn't surprised that she's doing this now. I said last episode 2, right? That she's going more and more dark, which again is because she doesn't really, you know, care about society and so on. That being said, though, this seems like an awful plan, honestly. It's gonna be like a little bit like structure here, doesn't it? Because I would imagine that it'd be. I mean, obviously we know that the alien did it, but yeah, I can't really see how the cops will even, like, frame any of. They would be managed for them to, like, point to one of the kids doing it. So they probably should stay quiet in this situation. I feel that there's no way the cops will be able to, like, oh yeah, the alien did it. You know what I mean? So if you now agree to doing it, so it feels very just kind of mean of her, just trying to abuse. And he's obviously looking for love, right? Like, his mother hates him and so on. He just wants to, you know, appease her and so on. And honestly, that might be somewhat the reason she's doing it as well, because she also has no one that likes her. So now he's the first person that ever kind of was nice to her, and then he can abuse it back to it. So it's a really, like, downward spiral here, absolutely. So what is now? Best game ever, clearly. Okay, 0-0 scores. But is this how mom used? Wait, and then he started. Has some hair color too. What's this flashback? I guess it's just Tensai, it's genius. Tensai is Japanese for, you know, yeah, genius. But yeah, this is what I said earlier, right? He's getting like 90% score. I should laugh at it, but I called it. He's getting like I said, it's been so hard for anyone to figure out that his mom hates him, because he's getting like 95% of 100, right? Everyone's like, you're so amazing. His mom was like, you suck! Oh my god. Oh, I should laugh at it. But yeah, like I said, I freaking called it, right? Like he's getting, like, he's the best student, right, at his school, right? He's getting 95%, 98%. He's getting, like, the absolute. Everyone has in the whole his school, right, whatever his age is, 7, 8, whatever. Yeah, everyone is like, oh my god, you're the smartest 7-year-old, the smartest 8-year-old. Everyone is like, my god, this guy is an effing super genius, right? But his older brother, right? He gets like 100% all the time. So mom is like, don't embarrass, man. 98%. Yes, it's, oh god. Mom is like, yeah, you suck. It's the eyesight. That's why. Oh my god, your brother don't need glasses. You're a failure. Yeah, my god. His mom is so mean. She's like, yeah, your brother never knew. Yeah, you're a defected person. And now he sheds his hair, right? Yeah, exactly. Because before he was. Oh my god, mom is he's nervous now, though. Oh, maybe it doesn't matter. No, he's still a prodigy, right? I feel like his brother probably will still manage to do it. He's like, my brother's gonna be my brother's gonna be a criminal. He's gonna have like a Yankees or so on. He's gonna have this girlfriend and yeah, exactly. So now my mom is gonna care about me instead. No, he's just awesome. Yeah, he's like, god damn it. His brother, I got it right. His brother is the best at everything. I got it. Junya is the best at everything. He's like, yeah, he gets good grades and he's a good sportsman. He's like, he also winning like this. I don't know why this is so absurd. Oh god. This whole thing is so absurd. His brother is like the perfect person. He's like, okay, so he not only was he good at school and so on. Yeah, no, great. Mom is like, oh my god, he's winning the football tournament. He's doing that thing. He's getting the cute girlfriend. He's just the best at everything. My god. Yeah, this is my chance. No, but that was so cute. Let's go back to that scene. I think he was so cute when he was like, he was imagining his brother, you know, hanging with some Yankees, right? Some Frungas. Yeah, he was like imagining his bro being with delinquents, like, oh yeah, it's finally my time. He's gonna become some, you know, he's gonna do porn or something. Yeah, he's gonna do some bad stuff, right? And then mom is like, oh no, my life is ruined, my perfect son and so on. Yeah, this in here. He's not hanging with these guys, you know, like the hen bad guys. Yeah, it's gonna be this thing. Yes, I'm finally mom's favorite. Yeah, like delinquents, like Frunas, Yankees, right? Yeah, it's gonna be a Yankee. Oh my god, you know. So, and of course, he does that on against the perfect grades. He's a Yankee and also amazing grades. Yeah, he just managed to max. His brother has maxed all his stats. He used to have only max intelligence, but he also maxed charisma. He maxed every stat. And then he also maxed strength and so on. He was the perfect person. So it was kind of clear that he liked her before the whole incident because he was trying to help her out. She was being bullied. Oh, here we go. Yeah, she's being beaten up by Marina. Yeah, they're walking in on Marinas. Yeah. I was gonna help her. So I guess it's the first time he helps her. Oh, he's the class president too. This guy does everything! Oh, Shizuka-chan. She's like, I'm fine. Completely covered in blood, like, yeah, it's fine. Nothing. But he's a class president too. Man, his mom is so mean. His mom is so mean. He's the best grade at school. He's the class president. He's also good at sports, probably. He's just like, it's just that his older brother is amazing. He's like, God, yeah. His older brother got 20. He's the best, as I said. Every stat is like max for that kid, right? So he's just like, oh my god, I can't beat my brother. He's the perfect person. But anyway, now he's keep trying to like talk to Suka, I guess, or something for maybe a year or something. I don't know. I guess he tried for a few months here. It's her fault that he's failing at school, though. Yeah, she will talk to him. It would be happening. I like the detail that her bench got more destroyed. It's a good detail. We saw her, you know, school bench, and there was more, you know, like to die or whatever text on it. Yeah, so she was getting more and more bullied over the years. So they kind of, you know, destroys her bench and so on. Yeah, that was a nice touch to it. But I guess this is also why he's so into helping her now, no matter what she says, because he wanted to kind of be with her before, right? He was clearly trying to like befriend her or whatever, right? For maybe a year or something. Yeah, and then he found her. Yeah, now it's like, you're my only friend, so exactly. And then he had to like, so he clearly had a crush on her before that even. Yeah, he wants to be a doctor and so on, right? I don't think his dad does, but I would have guessed. It's about clinics, so I'm guessing his dad is also a doctor, right? Yeah. It's like a family clinic. It also could be his grandparents, perhaps. But this feels like everyone in his family is probably a doctor. Like his father and grandfather are probably doctors. That's how it sounds. Oh, nice. I will wait until you have Yuvi. She's so mean. Oh god, Shizuka. It's like, don't worry. I will go and find Shopee, and you get a Yuvi. We can date something. Yeah, I'll wait for you, boy. Yeah, it's like, see you in 10 years. Yeah, then we can get married or something. It's like, it's like Christ. Oh my god, she kissed him. This is like, yeah, this is how every serial killer starts. Jesus Christ, now. It's easy to abuse this poor kid because, yeah, his mom really hates him, and it's very easy for her to like. I mean, her actions wouldn't work on like a non. But like I said earlier, it's about that conditional love, right? You know, because his mom never loved him, and she's like, oh, I love you. He's like, oh my god, you love me. But his brother might figure it out, though. His brother is a genius, right? He's like, as we know, he got perfect stats. His brother is like, you did it, right? Oh, this is interesting. Because it does feel like his brother. Oh, not these people with dreams. No, this is a nightmare. Well, yeah, definitely. But honestly, if anyone can figure it out. It's just monthly now. But if anyone can figure it out, it does sound like his brother would be the one to figure it out. Because he's supposedly the smartest person ever. Okay, here we go. But he's like the nicest person ever, his Christ, yeah. He's so afraid of his brother, and his brother is like the nicest bro ever. Are you okay, kid? I'm gonna tell me everything. I will help you. His brother is like the nicest person ever. And he's just like, no, you're a demon, brother. He's like, no, I'm trying to be nice to you. Yeah, like, I feel sorry for his brother, honestly. He's just like he's trying his best, man. But actually, I don't think he doesn't. Because, you know, he's like, I don't have anyone, but you have me. I'm trying to help you all the time. His brother is trying to nice to him every time, and so he does have his brother, though. But yeah, obviously his mom is incredibly mean to him. But see, his brother believes in him, so I think it's like... Okay, his brother is... well, yeah... Let's do ONII-CHAAN power up. Here we go, ONII-CHAAN power up. I'm getting goosebumps. Yes, you have me! Yes! See? His brother is... Yeah, what? You listen to me? I'm talking to you! Exactly, I keep telling it! His brother is the best person ever! His brother is like the god of say. I keep saying last episode. His brother is a goddamn hero, man. I love his brother. I'm giving goosebumps, guys. You can see it on his suit. His brother is like the best person ever. Yeah, you're my Toto! You got me, little Toto! See, I keep saying it. What does he see his brother for? His brother is like, what about me? I keep trying to help you all the time. Yeah, Jesus Christ, man. So now hopefully he won't go to the cops then, because his brother is like, you got me, bro. You have me, brother. Yeah. I felt it in the last episode. His brother is the best person ever. This scene was great, man. Tearing up. This scene was awesome. This was the best scene so far. This was the best scene, man. Maybe I'm just biased because I'm tearing up. But maybe I'm just biased, like I said, because I said last episode, I was like, his brother, he's the best character. I was like, yes! So yeah, it's kind of hype moment. His brother started crying too. It does feel a little bit like his brother said, oh, listen to me. I just asked you how you're doing. I'm telling you that I am here for you. Why are you acting like it's only Shizuka that cares about you? What about me, right? You have me, yeah. Like the brother is like they're trying to, but obviously this comes from because he really hates his mother, right? Because you know, obviously he really hates his mother, and because she really loves his brother, it comes back to that. You know, I hate what you love, right? You know, I hate what you love. His mother's precious little boy, right? And he's so jealous on his brother, so he's like envious and jealous. He's both envious and jealous, I would say. Yeah, he absolutely is both envious and jealousy for his brother. Makes him not see that his brother is the actual best person. Is nice to him, yeah. Because obviously Shizuka is just trying to like manipulate him right now, right? And the brother is just trying to be nice to him, and the brother is the one coming over, being like, "What happened with that girl? Are you feeling okay? You didn't talk to someone. What happened with that in the school? Blah blah. What happened to you and mom? Right?" So yeah, but he's very blinded from the whole jealousy thing towards his brother, right? Because of the mom, of course. To see that the brother is the one that's actually trying to help him. But like I said, I mean, overall, right, his brother, as I keep joking about, has perfect stats. So he seems to actually both be like super smart, super charismatic. So I think it makes sense, right? His brother is like very empathic or whatever. He got like a cute girl and yeah, he seems to really understand stuff, right? So I'm not surprised. If any person would like figure out what's happening, it does feel like he's the one doing it, right? Because they really present him as the best at everything. So of course he's like, well, you know about the murder, yeah, like they really do present that he probably has some kind of like, and he did see them talking earlier, and it does feel like he's gonna maybe even like be able to figure it out, right? So very interesting, very good scene, very good scene, man. That was a great, yeah, made me tear up a bit. But maybe I'm just biased because I like that. The brother is best character. but he's like the brother. He's like a shining light in the darkness, right? Because there's no other person, like I keep saying, in the whole anime. There's no other person that's a good person. He's the only good person. He's the only good person, right? Everyone else, every adult, every teacher, all the parents are all terrible, and the brother is the only one being like, "I got you. I see you, boy." He is the perfect person that cries. Yeah. Och Toto, it's gonna be some dumb joke now. He's like, I'm a perfect either. I am really bad at this thing. I can't play guitar or something. It's gonna be something silly. Let's see here. I feel it's gonna be something stupid here. Here we go. I suck at Monster Hunter. Yes! I knew it. I knew it was gonna be like, I suck at this thing that no one cares about. And mom's packets are terrible, yeah. And there's gonna be something stupid. There's gonna be something stupid. I love you. And there's gonna be something dumb. He's just like, oh, I suck at this thing that no one cares about. But it sounds like mom is a doctor herself. He said mom's clinic. He said that. So, just high expectations of her sons, right? to also be doctors. That's how it seems. But yeah, I've never seen like a dad in this picture. Maybe it's dead or something. Oh, the bad lens for his blind. Is the poor kid. And I killed this girl! It's gonna be something bad, oh my god. He's like, I also murdered that kid! Oh no. He's like, I also murdered a 9-year-old. Okay. Well, he does have the bloody phone in his... he does have... Yeah, exactly, he has the bloody phone. He's like, why do you have a bloody phone there, brother? What's that blood... What's that like covered in blood, that thing there? Yeah. Huh. I don't know. But the glasses are bad too. Yeah, he needs to have new lenses. God, so terrible. Oh, the poor kid. He's like... Yeah, mom didn't... But she did confess about it though? What? Well, he did... I mean, yeah, maybe the brother talked to him afterward and like... I don't know. What did he talk about? The clinic was closed? Maybe she's going and has help or something. Therapy or something. Which he needs. Yeah, maybe he's... I don't know. He did have the bloody phone, right? So... Oh, a straw hat? She's like, time to go Luffy. Yeah, she's like, let's go to One Piece. Let's go and... Yeah, let's go to a pirate sail. But for her, of course, that has to be the best time ever because she hates school. Yeah, obviously to Tokyo. Of course she hates school so much. She's like, finally in Shopee in Tokyo. And there was Shibuya clearly in Tokyo there. Okay, so let's review it. I'm a little bit unsure what happened here. Leave a comment below if you know, without, of course, spoiling the further episodes. But it seems to be a little unclear to me, or is this possibly this vague? Because it didn't seem like did he go to the cops? Yeah, they expect him. There were some rumors about it. But, you know, maybe he went to the cops and told them that, no, it's Shizuka, this girl is crazy or whatever, she tricked me or whatever. I don't know, you know what I mean? It definitely was not clear what he actually told the cops, right? But I assume his mom, of course, closed her, clinic. She's some kind of doctor, right? Because of course her son is like being arrested or maybe just being interrogated because of what he kind of knows something. The brother probably did see the bloody phone, right? Like I mentioned earlier. But definitely a bit unclear, and maybe the final episode will come back to this. That being said, I still definitely expect them to use the time traveling, right? There's no way that Takopii mentioned to have like a time traveling clock, you know what I mean, out in his home planet, and that is not used. I said it many times over, but I definitely still expect them to, revive Marina, right? And of course, by reviving her, or rather, reverse time, and by reversing time, you would, of course, not having this guy go to jail either, right? For her murder, perhaps, something like that. But anyway, so that, yeah, a little bit like that bit. But otherwise, very good episode. The brother scene was very emotional. They gave me goosebumps. I teared up a bit. That was a really good scene. That was one of those like really, really, really powerful, emotional anime scenes where, it's kind of like dynamic entrance, Naruto or whatever. It's like, Naruto is here, yeah. And he stands on the give frogs or whatever. Yeah, it felt like a badass like anime entering scene. But I'm here. You have me. Yeah, it was very impactful. The anime is also really well, done, right? It's very well animated done, yeah, because he's just like a normal kid coming in like, I'm here! And it still felt like a goddamn, shonen battle anime. It's like, boom! Explodes. So it was a very good scene. Overall, from an anime standpoint, it certainly looks great with all the power vision. Like I think it was fading the test, right? And we keep seeing from his eyes, and he's getting like blurry because he's like crying or so forth, right? So the anime looks very, very good. Overall, though, I think the animes, not just this anime, but I think overall anime has got better at this stuff, right? Using retrospects, power vision, so what has been much more utilized maybe for the last 10 or so years. So it does feel like the quality of animes are getting better and better with this stuff. This thing will almost never happen, back in the 90s or whatever. They would just be like, no. So it's a lot of different stuff, like fights are more moving and so forth, right? So that's all that's great. Now, from an actual behavior standpoint, right, I could have covered it a lot earlier, but I think it's mostly, like I said, about the whole conditional loving. Mom keeps being like, I will only love you if you succeed, right, or else I won't love you. And that, of course, broke the poor little boy, even though her pancakes appeared terrible to his brother. So like, why was he even want the pancakes for, right? But like we saw there earlier, he doesn't even tell Shizuka that his mom is being mean to him, right? And I think I already been over that point, right? But you know what I mean. I think that's one of the key issues, right, with this kind of bad parenting, is that it's almost impossible for the child to talk about it, right? Because they have this internalized, it's my fault, the guilt, right, of being a bad son, so to speak. But also then the mom is, like I said in the beginning of the video, the mom is never gonna admit she's a bad mom, right? She's just gonna be like, I'm the best mom ever, I'm a doctor, my son is terrible, he's an idiot, like this is his fault, right? So it's like a very hard thing to crack, right? But I do think that the brother probably then went to their mom, right, and told her that this is bad and so forth. And like I said, the most likely person that would actually be able to talk to, like I said, my grandma, right, the golden grandchild, golden daughter, right, that's like the most likely person, right, they would listen to. So that might work. But I don't know. I don't think that a little bit in the end of the brother flashback, it felt like they were trying to humanize their mom a little bit. I think still it's a little bit unclear. And I wish we had a little more understanding of this family dynamics. Like, there is no dad, is he dead, so on, right? Because the fact that the brother tried to make her a little more human there, so to speak, by saying that she's working hard, she's a full-time doctor of this shit and that, and she doesn't have time to cook the pancakes are actually terrible because she works too much or whatever. Yeah, so I felt that he was like trying a little bit to like help his brother, but also actually defending his mama, being like, oh yeah, but you know how she is. She only has 1 hour per day to talk to us because she works all the time, whatever. That's a little bit how he presented it. But also it could be a kind of coping mechanism for the brother as well, Junya, right, the older brother. He's also like, well, yeah, you know how mom is, right? A little bit. He's like, yeah, yeah, I know she's crazy. Certainly. What more happened? Well, the episode was very focused on this character. Yeah, I'm actually kind of, from an overall standpoint, this episode didn't really address anything with Marina, right? I mean, from the family standpoint, she died, of course, they find the body, but I mean, yeah, like, because Takopii had this guilt thing, that has to come back later, right, from a story aspect, because it was clearly, in the beginning of the episode, Takopii was trying to talk to them about his guilt, right, of having killed Marina, and what her parents are gonna feel, and that was just completely skipped over. What happened with that, but maybe it comes back later. But it does feel, of course I haven't read the manga, and I would think I read the manga after I finish the anime, but it feels like maybe they cut away some stuff there. Usually the anime, of course, will pace it faster, because it felt honestly kind of strange to me from a structural standpoint that we didn't see anything with Marina's parents. Yeah, I actually think that's kind of weird. So leave a comment below, guys. Does the manga have that in this part of the storyline? I'm sure her parents will eventually, of course, appear in the anime again, right? But I feel like it should have been a little bit her parents, How is her mother taking the death of her daughter, right? Are they blaming each other? Like I said earlier, I would assume they're blaming each other. You killed her and so on, right? It definitely felt like I missed like just a few minutes of that. I don't think the whole episode had to be about that, but I would like to have maybe 2-3 minutes of what's happening on that side, but it also maybe some purpose to keep this whole vague, like what did he tell them, what did he tell the cops with the bloody camera, what happened with that. So maybe the parents come back later and we see their angle from it, and who they think have killed it. So maybe the author is like pushing that to the final episode, who the cops think are the murderer or whatever, or they're gonna like capture or something. But it felt a little bit weird to me that you had that like start of Takopii and also the ending last week, then you just completely kind of sided away from that. But I suppose that when she wanted to go to Tokyo in the last minute there, Takopi's guilt was coming back to him a little bit, right? To say Chappie. But yeah, maybe next episode is going to Tokyo. It will be interesting seeing how her father is. I'm guessing that he hasn't seen her for years. He seems to clearly abandon his daughter, so it'll be weird how he's going to act if they see that. And I hope that happens, honestly. I say it last, guys. I don't want it. I mean, it could be interesting because she's like a tiny girl going Tokyo across Japan, right? But I hope that isn't too much focus. I don't want to see her run around in some, train station and it's a bunch of weird people or something, and she gets into weird incidents, go over to Tokyo, right? That to me seems kind of weird. That's kind of how, what's the anime movie called now again? Oh my god, I can't skip in my head now. Not Your Name, the next movie. Suzume, is that what it's called? I think it's Suzume, right? Yeah, Suzume, like advancing, yeah. Suzume is kind of like that, where she has to like travel Japan, and it's oh no, there's all these hijinks, Oh no, I get on a car on with this watermelon guy, and then we do this thing. Then this girl on a bike gives me a ride. She's badass. She gives me like an orange or something, and I meet her mom, and her mom runs this place or something. You know what I mean? I don't want to see that. Yeah, I don't feel it fit in that man whatsoever. I hope it's like let's go to Tokyo. They have the tickets. The next minute they are in Tokyo. Honestly, maybe a little bit like some kind of comedic thing happening in between. But you know what I mean? Like, am I the only one? I feel like I'm not that interested in like Shizuka talking to some random people on the street while she's trying to get to Tokyo. I don't know. I feel I'm more interested in what her father, and if of course Shop is alive, right? That's the focus. Otherwise, yeah, it might become some weird like travel comedy. It just feels kind of weird. I'm not that interested in seeing that. Maybe it's only me, but nah, I want to focus more on the family core cast, right? And perhaps her mom like try to go after her and find her or something. Maybe. You would imagine the mom would try to talk you afterwards, or her daughter is there, right? And maybe there'll be a wake-up call for her mother, how terrible she is. But anyway, guys, if you subscribe, like button, and have a great day.